Hello and welcome to another episode of Commander Durdle. So, Rise of the Eldrazi. One thing I noticed actually, and I've now read the changelog, there's been some major changes to Architect, and I haven't had a proper explore, so no doubt some of those changes will become apparent as I start using this. I have noticed that they've moved some of the features around here, and also the look of it seems slightly different. I understand there's been some major changes across the board, so we'll just see as we go along. So here's my card pool. As I mentioned earlier, I've already pre-pruned that, but we'll have a look at some of the rares in here. The other thing, I just want to highlight a couple of things I forgot to mention in the Set Musings episode, which came to mind as I was sort of looking through card pools and various other things. One is these two cards are really interesting, and I just completely skipped when I sliced and diced this. This one here, Near Death Experience, is a alternate win condition card. So at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly one life, you win the game. But the other thing to do with the game, which is interesting, is this Spawn Spire of Ulamog. So for a cost of 20, we can cast any number of Eldrazi cards you own from outside the game without paying their mana costs. So in a tournament setting, that would be the sideboard. But I just thought that was really interesting. So that, yeah. I mean, whether or not you could pull it off, like 10 to cast and then 20 to just effectively ultimate with all your Eldrazi stuff, which you have conveniently tucked away in your sideboard. Yeah. Although it does spit out these mana generating Eldrazi spawn creature tokens, which obviously assist it. And the other thing was just, and I did touch on it a little bit when I went through some of the sorceries and instants and looked at some of the cards, is there is a sort of weird life gain, life drain theme going on in white, black, green, which again I've subsequently noticed as well. So I don't know if anybody ever attempted to draft life as a resource deck in white, black, green in Rise of the Eldrazi. I'd be interested to know if anybody ever has tried to do that. I certainly haven't done that. But yeah, I sort of noticed that off the back of realising this was in the set. Although this is the opposite, you're trying to get your life down. But as I was looking at, like a thing where clearly they've got cards that care about your life total, are there any other things in the opposite direction going on? And you can see we've got, for instance, we've got a life link, a level up card here as well, and we've got Soul's Attendant. So yeah, so just a couple of things that I forgot to mention. So back to the actual episode in hand. We were lucky enough to get an Ulamog the Infinite Gyre, which is 11 to cast for a 10/10 with when you cast it you get to destroy a target permanent. It has Annihilator 4, and when it's put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles it into his or her graveyard into his or her library. So yeah, what you decide to do that within an EDH setup, in a commander setup, obviously because of replacement effects, getting your commander back into the command zone is another matter, and whether there is some way of abusing this. But we'll see, because again, this is all down to seeing what we get suggested by the algorithm. It'd be interesting to see as well with well, I don't know if it's this one or the one I've got coming up. I think it's more for the M11 episode of coming up, because I did a bit of a pre-prep, because I was going to, as I mentioned in the previous video, I was going to have a week off of doing Magic videos because of the Victoria Day on the 30th of May. But yeah, I sort of looked ahead a little bit, and I'll have to be conscious when I go into the search as to how effective the built-in one is. I think it's in M11 because of what I had to choose, and there's no commanders in M11, there's no legendary creatures. I had to basically pick a commander from outside of the set with a rare that I pulled in the draft pool, and because it was a very new commander and because of the choice of cards, I don't think the inbuilt algorithm did a very good job, and so I may have to switch back to the regular, or have to switch back to the second suggestion algorithm in here, which is the one from EDHREC, which we don't normally use, just to be a bit different. So anyway, back again to Rise of the Eldrazi. We've got Ulamog, Kargan Dragonlord. So the other legendary, I could have built a Tuck deck. The reason why I didn't want to do that is we've done some red decks in the past, and I wanted to have a go at a colourless commander deck and see where that took us. What else we got here? Splinter Twin, Sphinx Bone Wand, Repay in Kind, Renegade Doppelganger. This is a interesting card. It the Betrays, Gelatinous Genesis, Eldrazi Temple, Echo Mage, Baleful Omen, and Kargan. Kargan was so we actually managed to get 2 mythics out of 12 packs that were opened. As you can see, if you look beyond the fact that some of these things in red are red because there's 2 copies of things, even considering that, there's not an awful lot we can play with Ulamog. And this is what it looks like when we strip everything out. I've already got some wastes over here. Obviously I'm not sticking to saying, oh, I'm only gonna, build the deck as it could have been built around the time of Rise of the Eldrazi, before we had wastes, where I would only be able to put in cards that generate colourless mana, or land that generates colourless mana. But with this, we actually have a basic land that generates colourless, so let's exploit that. Make life a little bit easier. So we'll pump this up to 34 maybe, around there, 34, 35. Now I'll drag it back in. There we go. We've already got this Eldrazi Temple, so that's great. So good that was in the card pool. We're leaving, so we're going to go just the theme here. So I suppose a couple of things we could do. We could do Eldrazi Tribal, which is what we're going to do. Another theme we could try is just big mana generally. And another thing would be some sort of artifact deck. But I'm going to go with Eldrazi Tribal. What else we got? Ruined Servitor. Each player draws a card. Okay. It's card draw. Which is going to be interesting in the mono-colour deck. I'm sure there's some highly costed artifacts which will help us do that. Reinforced Bulwark. Yeah. Get rid of that. Okay, seeing as it's Eldrazi Tribal, we should leave this in. 11 for a 9/9 with Annihilator 3. And it can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. We got it that betrays. 12 to cast for an 11/11 Annihilated 2. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent, put that card to the battlefield. Oh, so this is good. So this synergizes very nicely with Annihilator. And so, yeah, just be a bit careful because it's sacrifice. So, which is good with Annihilator, but not good with the first ability on Ulamog because that's destroy. So we're basically looking, if we're trying to get synergies with this, I don't know how successful we'll be, but cards that force our opponent to sacrifice stuff. So we'll see what we've got in either like colourless spells generally or artifacts specifically. So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put a charge counter on this. If you do, it deals damage equal to the target creature or player. Oh, it's in the set, but yeah, I don't know if that's going to be so good. Let's get rid of it. Prophetic Prison. Well, add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. Well, I can't play anything of any colour anyway, so that's not really going to work here. Pinion Blade. Okay, we'll leave that in. Play lots of creatures. Right. I think our algorithm is not going to be happy, but we'll see. Ooh. That's interesting. So have they removed... Okay, well, I think I've already answered my question then. So it looks like they may have removed their own recommender. Yep. See what happens. This is what happens when you don't check changelogs. Oh, I quite like this actually. Oh, well, it looks like going forward we'll just use EDHREC unless I find when I actually bother to read the changelog notes that they've done that. Although, like I said, I think I provisionally did one of the decks, I was having problems before made these changes, so it's probably not a bad thing. Oh, I was hoping this was here, there, because it's an interesting combo between this and this, I believe. Right, so we're in a colourless deck, so we really should be thinking about playing a lot of artifacts. I'm going to see what Planeswalkers it suggested. Ugin. Okay. Double Ugin. 2 less to cast. So, blah, blah, blah. Ooh. That's good. Okay. Yeah. we'll have both of these. So if I look, oh, even better, right. Can I? Ah, there we go. Wow. Okay, I like this. So now I get it. Okay. Right, so yeah, let's do this. This is a lot quicker to use now. Let's just look and see what sort of instants and sorceries we have at our disposal that we might be able to do. Okay, it's an additional cost to cast time for instance. Reveal a colourless card. Okay, well. Exile, we've got Scour from Existence, Not of This World, Warping Wall. So we've only got 4 suggestions. Okay. Hopefully this isn't going to happen all the time, because this is going to make these episodes very boring, I'm afraid, but we'll see. You live and learn. Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, we want that. Get those spawns out there. Good. So that's hunting for our wastes. Yeah. Okay, what have we got land-wise? Now, what do I want to do? How crazy do I want to go with utility lands and various other things? I don't know if we want to do we want to do like an Ursum as mana base? I mean, it does. Certainly not punishing us anyway. Okay, so we do want that. What have we got here? We do want that. And that. This is a bit too easy. And we definitely do not want anything that comes into play tapped. Life gain. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to put a Darksteel Citadel in there. I envisage playing a lot of artifacts, so that's good. Pay life equal to the number of colours. Actually, that synergizes really well. So that's our card draw. Got Spawning Bed. It's pretty high cost to spit out. So 3 tokens. yeah, basically I could just play all manner of... Depends how expensive you want to make the deck, really. Because you can see here, I could just go through and just add all the land that generates colourless mana and has a cool ability on it. Actually, Homeward Path would not go amiss. Oh, should we do that? Do I want to be playing around with storage lands? I don't want to play a Thespian stage though. Don't want to do tapped. Don't really want that. It's a saga. No. I do want that. It's another way of getting card draw. And that, so we should... Okay, so I'm going to have to obviously do something about this, so let's just get rid of some of this. Bingo. Okay. Yeah, I think I need to try and spend my time wisely and go through some of the additional features on this, because it looks like there's been a major overhaul of this site. Right, so next up, so we've done our instants, our sorceries, our planeswalkers, our land. Is there anything enchantment wise that we need to worry about? And then we've got, so hang on, instant sorceries, planeswalkers, land. So so I've just got to do enchantment, artifact, and creatures. Oh, of course, Eldrazi Conscription. I would want to play that. I'm not sure about this. I suppose. What happens to Gyre? Then shuffle. So what do I get? I get, okay, a land that will generate colourless mana. And then the next saga, we get 2 0/0 colours. +1/+1 for each artifact you control. And then search your library for an artifact card with mana cost. No. Okay. So let's go back and have a look at our artifacts. So we'll put quite a few in here, seeing as we're playing a colourless deck. We might as well get as much artifact utility as we can. I'm still going to keep the creatures around sort of 30. But what have we got already? So we've got 1 artifact. Okay, so here we go. Resistance. I did want to play that, definitely. And Assault Ring. And Hedron Archive. And a Thran Dynamo. Power Stone. Bomb. Yeah, the cool thing is, of course, there's so many mana rocks that just generate a large amount of colourless mana. This one can also just hunt out any land card. Wow. This deck's going to be insane. Did I? Oh, good old Solemn. Yeah, so of course things like Solemn and Burnished Hart are great in here. Oh, that's cool. Good old Unstable Obelisk. What's that? Isn't there a... Oh, I want to play Steel Hellkite, of course. Eldrazi Incubator. Thank you very much. Sage Ring. Soul Talisman. Untap all artifacts you control during each... Oh yeah, want that. You know, each player is untapped. Think about that one. Draws a card. You may pay 1 if you do draw a card. Yeah. Kick a 3. Oh, I like this. There's lots of cards here that I'm not super familiar with. That's nice. Okay, yeah, that's definitely very broken with this. Right, depending on what creatures we see, that's going to be funny. I don't know if I want to play Mana Crypt. Creature gets +X/+X. Yeah. Yes, please, we want that. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes colourless instead. If you would lose... losing unspent mana. Does that make any difference? I don't think it does.
You make that target non-token creature as long as the... Yeah. Oh. I just want to play Blightsteel. It's adding to my creature count. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. You can't lose the game and your opponent can't win the game. Okay, so do I put more mana rocks in here? This is a question, or more utility. I thought there was another staff that had like multiple utility on it, but I'm not sure. Oh, I know what I've just thought of. Was it Rings of... Let me just see if I can find it. It's not being suggested. Let me see if this is it. Whenever you activate an ability, if it isn't a mana ability, you may pay 2. If you do, copy that ability. Yeah, okay. I want that in the deck. Definitely. And there was one other thing that came to mind. Was it Oblivion Stone? There's also that, was it Mycosynth Lattice? Cards that aren't on the battlefield spells and permanents are colourless. Players may spend mana as though it were mana of any colour. Does that... It does with some of the artefact interactions I'm seeing. So I should do that. I could put in an Eldrazi monument, but I don't know if I want to be sacking my spawn tokens. That's the only thing. And the other thing is there's like the Spine of Ishar as like a removal card. And then what the hell? Let's do a doubling cube. Yeah. Did that go in? I'm going to put that in. Now, before we carry on, not sure. Although, actually, saying that, if I've... Yeah, actually that gets triggered by Eldrazi tokens. If... Depends on if they're being spat out. Yeah, I should be mindful of that, actually. I think I'll...
Yeah, I'll stick with that for the moment. Okay. Creature time. I think that's it. Well, I'm sorry if this is a little bit boring. And obviously, as one of the reasons why I don't use EDH Rec is because there's not much wiggle in it. So you end up with a great deck, but it makes the episode a little bit boring because all I'm doing is clicking these. So I'll have to dig a bit deeper before I do my next episode and see if I can revert back, if there's a way of that I haven't spotted yet in here of basically doing this. It's just the same list. I think maybe, let me just try that. Just see. I think that's just... No, it doesn't work. Okay, I'm not going to mess about with that. You didn't come to watch me learn how to use the interface, so... Right. When you cast a spell, you may return target creature. Okay. What I wanted to do is, just make sure I don't accidentally add anything when you cast this spell. Okay. Tap. Block this turn. So, how many slots do I have left? So 87. So I've got 13 creatures I can add here. So let's just... I'm going to be a bit different here. So I don't want any more. I don't think I want any more mana rocks. In your hand, add 2 colours mana to your mana pool for each card revealed this way. So a lot of these are just mana generators. I do want to be... See, I'm more interested in these spawn tokens. When you cast spell, you may put 2 cards your opponent's hand from exile into your owner's graveyard. No. Trample. Cast artifacts though they had flash. That would be cool. Oh, I can't resist Wormcoil Engine. Gain haste. Oh, scalable Eldrazi, cool, that's good. Does you roll the top card? Oh, Thought Not Seer, yeah. Not that card for exile that card. Don't want that. I wasn't sure about that when it was in artifacts. Whenever it targets a spell, counter that spell. More mana rocks. See, I've cut back on my waste, so yeah, I don't know if I want to play that. Yeah, that looks like fun. Okay, here we go. We've got the nasty stuff. Four, 5 with more mana generation on it. And for each card type on cards. Yeah, let's just play the ludicrous Eldrazi spells. Okay, well, it was Eldrazi Tribal. Oh, there we go. So I should just look up here and just see if there's anything that I would prefer to play. It's good utility, I suppose. Okay, there we have it. That's our deck. So let's have a look at the curve. Okay, not quite as bad as I thought. Okay, we better play test this. But as you know, before we do that, let's export a copy. And then, so I may have to change the amount of land, that's the only thing. Okay, we've got some wastes. We got, oh, turn 1 Soul Ring. Cool. So this is good. We've got an Urza's Tower, so, wow, okay. So, we got turn 1 Soul Ring. Let's just do this. There we go. Wastes into Soul Ring. Draw a card. Okay, we can. So we've already got, when we play this other waste, we've already got 4 mana online. So, oh, this is ridiculous, actually. So, it comes into play tapped. This is a 4 drop, but it, okay, so that gives me more utility, potentially. And I've still got an Urza's Tower, so, yeah. This is stupid. So, let's do that. Draw. Oh my. Yeah, the mana's really... This is a fun deck. Okay. Wow. There's just so much stuff I can play out. Yeah, so then I start getting out worn Power Stones, Hedrons, Urza's Tower. It's just ridiculous. So let's just see. But at the moment, well, saying that, so I can't really cast anything. So let's just have a look and see what this looks like. So the first thing I'm probably going to be able to cast is the All Is Dust. Beyond, obviously, all this stuff here. But certainly, I'm not having any problems with generating mana. Okay, let's have a look again. Wow, okay. 3 wastes, an Everflowing Chalice. Yeah, obviously I want to multi-kick that. Pinion Blade, Basalt Monolith. Yeah, Monolith. Okay. Again, let me just see what this is going to shape up like. So that's the main thing here, is with this deck you spend a lot of time getting your mana base in order, and then boom, things get seriously out of hand. The only thing you might want to do is, so it's potentially substitute some of the artifacts for other utility, because there could be a bit of a hole here. In terms of before you can really do anything. So you'd probably be taking hits. But yeah, once all this stuff sort of comes online and the mana starts flowing and you're tapping and untapping artifacts and doing all sorts of mana things, this deck gets seriously scary. Okay, that's it really. I don't have much more to add on that. Yeah, sorry the build wasn't a bit more interesting. It's not a deck that I have a lot of it. You know, I have zero experience of building like an Eldrazi deck, like a colourless commander deck. So there was only a few things off the top of my head that I could think. And, you know, the design, well, not the design, but the pitch of this episode is such that I don't spend a lot of time researching, you know, the commander, and I really just go with the deck suggestion tool and just see where that takes me. But unfortunately here it produced such a tight set of results that it definitely sort of drew me down in a certain direction, which was fine because this was after all the Eldrazi tribal deck, and I did expect that it would probably suggest a whole ton of mana rocks in there. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will see you in the, well, I won't see you personally, but hopefully you'll see my cards in the artwork episode on Friday. Bye for now.